All right. Well, welcome. We are ready for some Wild West. I almost said Werewolf Wild West. Nope, wrong game. Haven't played that in decades. Some Wild West Dungeons and Dragons here on GM Balo. We're having uh, absolute fun as we have been exploring our new characters, and we have a few people out for very legit reasons, and are we're thinking of them as they're navigating those, and they'll be back with us in a few weeks. But right now, we will continue our tale with Shiloh, Cassia, and Arya as we go more into our world. Last time, actually, before I do all that, if you want to go ahead and help and support the players, you can do so through some good old fashioned channel point spending to give inspiration. And there are treasure boosts in this particular world, but they're definitely lower power than you may be used to in Exandria games. Purpose because more mundane items are here around the rock. So, at least at these levels. So, we will start, I believe. So, there is a little, actually, not even a little, there is palatable awe that is around uh, you right now, Arya. Sorry, Cassia, as it has become apparent that you can channel Cenarium here to both heal, as you've already shown, and the ability to change the composition of deadly food. And you are already setting yourself apart as somebody unique, and your allies have been able to prove themselves as well. Wild ones fighting alongside humans and fleshies. It's been just an absolute spectacle. And you can tell that your particular group, everyone has been making waves in what people thought was the case here and how they thought things were going to go. And now, with your sheer absolute explosion of this almost divine sonnet energy, all eyes are on you. And there is silence as you prepare your 3 egg omelet.
Cassia is doing her best to just kind of, she was just almost turned into stone. So she's going to take a moment and, kind of regain her senses and regroup and cast guidance upon herself and say a little prayer under her breath. And then she pours the no longer noxious, toxic eggs into her warmed pan. And she gets ready to use the fork to draw it all in the proper way. And we will see how this happens.
Yeah. So go ahead as you're flipping the omelet, folding it, doing all types of shenanigans. Make your
Unmod-
cooking check.
Unmodified it. I'm doing the stupid push talking. Her unmodified roll is an 18.
Okay. With your mods, what'd you get?
Well, that's with her plus to dexterity, but I have not added on guidance or
Okay.
bardic inspiration.
Just roll the bardic just in case.
So I would say this is going to be. I'll tell you right now, 18 will succeed. Higher numbers could get higher results. So you may
All
proceed
right.
as you wish.
Then I will roll guidance, which is a 1, so 19. And then I will use my bardic inspiration. That's a d6, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Two.
Okay.
So 21
21.
total.
So as you present. Yeah, the charcoal suited man deems it necessary to require all of you to taste a bit, as is part of the ritual here, and then, seeing that none of you are dying, bring it up where he, the woman whose dress floated around like Cenarium, and one other who has not really made much appearance yet. He is in a bright blue suit with a black tie and a large top hat that you can tell there are several like metal pieces and tubes and gears around this hat. Wouldn't surprise you if that was some type of Cenarium weapon on top of that head there. And he also will taste it. And there is this look between the one in the top hat and charcoal suited individual into the woman. Charcoal suited man addresses all of you and the crowd. Well, it is quite apparent that this crew is the cream of the top of the crop today, unless maybe this is a miraculous crew that we have in general. But as the first ones tested, seem to be the first ones who are going to be welcomed officially into the community here of Intake City. And given the sponsorship that was given to them, of course, our young miss does get first grab at paying their fee. And the woman kind of, well, she finally speaks up. I do believe that since they themselves chose this challenge, and we all know the difficulty here, that the spectacle they provided can go towards some of that fee. And I do mean, let's let it have them into their pocket, shall we? And there's a little bit as the charcoal suited man gauges the audience here. And he, of course, well.
Do we know what this fee is? Is this the...
You're not entirely sure. You're not familiar with everything going on here. There's just this conversation kind of being had in front of you.
Yep.
She looks, well, you all gather your things. They will let you out. And please, just make your way directly. Up and north out of here. Take your first right. And there you will find pleasant evening. Sorry. Nah, that's not the one I wanted to say. Pfft, wrong note. And there you will find House of Delights. Wait for me there, would you be so kind?
Arya will nod and open up her parasol and hold it over her head, and as she's walking out, she'll prestidigitate herself to make herself look a little bit more presentable. Like, get the curl back in her hair and stuff like that.
Cassie will just nod. Thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. And she'll give an awkward little curtsy and then gather her bag with her utensils and her extra clothes and follow after Arya.
Absolutely.
Shia will look at these. I assume these are people that were laughing at him at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at these people square in the eye, grab his stuff, and not say a word.
Absolutely. And you are let out. On your way out, you are all given what essentially will be currency here. And just bottom line, they call these things a credit. Now, the difference between some of this is you will still have gold and that type of stuff, but that stuff mostly is used to deal with like everyday items and those types of things. When you get something like a credit, that is an extra bit. Like you could get a upgraded piece of equipment, possibly do something to your Cenarian weapon. Could translate to some type of like in D&D terms of magic weapon type of deal. And so that's kind of like big money, you could say. So you got to kind of have like one big money towards something. But you are given one of these very valuable indeed for your time, probably by the woman's instructions.
Okay, so we get a credit, which is not gold, but more valuable than gold.
Yeah, I would say for simplicity, I'm not going to give you platinum. So if you would like to keep track of it as platinum on D&D Beyond,
Okay.
that could make it easy for tracking purposes.
All right. That makes sense. Okay.
If we really wanted to be safe, we just do Electrum because Lord knows no one traffics.
No one does.
That is the cryptocurrency of D&D.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So now, for the first time, you really get to see this city. You're not being dragged in, pushed around, or anything like that. It is built up very high. There, you see multiple places where it looks like things are being loaded on to ship out. There's wagons full of all types of goods. Both Cassia, you recognize even like some tubings and some technology from the God Nexus that seems to have made its way here. And Aria and Shiloh, there's instruments and the like that seem to have come from Traveler's Breach that move about, possibly imported or otherwise obtained.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. How are we seeing these things? What are
They're
they?
in wagons
Oh, gotcha.
as they're moving. The rest of the stuff is just, in other words, it's a bustling city. There's all types of trade. What going around?
I had no idea that there was something like this here. I'm glad I got on the boat. This has all been so interesting.
So you got on this boat of your own free will.
Well, yes, you see, I heard that my mama's girl of all work talking to the neighbor's houseboy, and they were saying, well, because of who she is, they'll never put her on the boat. So I thought I'd be missing something, right? Like not being able to go on the boat with everybody else. It looked like it was going to be a pleasure cruise. And it's brought me here, and look, there's the sun. There's the sun, Aria. I never get to see the sun.
How old are you?
I just turned 15.
You ever had a job? You ever work? You ever do
Uh,
anything for?
well- No, my mama said that my job was to make a good match someday and keep my husband happy.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
I think. Go ahead.
I just want to give you a little bit of advice, a little life tip. You know, it's one lady to another, you know. You might want to be careful about what you say to people, especially stuff like that, because some of us were forced out of our homes.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be hurtful to anybody. That's the last thing I want to do.
I just want to give you a little heads up. Sometimes the things you say can rub people the wrong way. So I know you don't have experience, so just I'll try and help you when I can, okay?
All right. I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset anybody, and I wouldn't say it to just anyone. I thought we was friends.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hold on, I'm trying to figure out how she would say this without without hurting Cassia's feelings. Hold on, I'm sorry. Sometimes we don't know what other people's backgrounds are. So we just got to be a little bit more careful with our words, okay? Does that make sense?
No,
I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings in any
it
way.
makes sense. No, my feelings aren't hurt by that. My feelings are hurt by I hurt other people's feelings.
It's fine. Just keep it on the DL with that, okay?
It's if I may, I think it's an interesting perspective to be sure, but it is definitely something that is not had by all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is the first time I've been like anywhere or seen anything, and like I said, I never seen the sun before. I came here.
She'll pat her on the shoulder. It's fine. It'll all work out. Let's go to this place.
All right. Then you make your way and enter in to the House of Delights. And it is all wood here, likely imported. I would say Shiloh and Arya, these all seem just the green of the wood feels very Traveler's Breach, if not. Actually, yeah. Then you think like, oh, they must have like got the trees from here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you begin to recognize. I'm going to let you describe this. You see a piece here. It could be the bar, it could be the floor, it could be a wall, or any type of things that are here that you marked in some way at Traveler's Breach, and you realize that it has been brought here possibly from the raids.
I think there's a table that I remember specifically being thrown into that the leg had, like, one of the table legs had to be reattached and was still wobbly. And I think Shiloh walks over to it, like, just to kind of see, and just like kind of taps it.
You know the exact type of wobble it is.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
the very wobble that is your dome is in there.
I think Arya would be walking around looking. Is there a stage area?
Mhm.
She'd probably go up to the stage, and she remembers carving her initials in one of the planks, like,
Yes.
and just sees that, and she'll sit down and right on the edge of the stage, and she'll sit down right there and just kind of rub her hand, like run her hand over her initials, and just be like, just kind of sigh and look around, see if she recognizes anything else.
Yeah.
I think Shiloh tries to meet Arya's eye as like a knowing, like,
Yeah. She'll nod.
Yeah. And you look around, and there you begin to recognize from various underground venues that you were at. This seems just to be a collection, a bit here, a bit there, all put together in the same style. Bits kind of redetermined, redesigned, but it's very much that, you wonder. I think you think back to when you were arrested and thrown on the boats, how many people probably never made it across the sea, and how this stuff was likely shipped. The things were shipped. Something that made sure they made it here, but you all were thrown in boats.
Well, I think I need a drink. Who needs a drink?
Yeah, that's-
I'm gonna walk up to the bar.
Sounds good. I think Ari and I both walk up to the bar to get drinks for everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There, tending the bar, is what essentially is a leopard person, working, shining some glasses. And well. It seems that our amazing mistress has seen fit to grab a few more misfits up into the House of Delights.
Misfits? Oh, she has more of us?
She has a soft spot, I should say. And looking at you all, it's quite early. Maybe she made quite a good catch, indeed, if she's made her decision this quickly. Anyway, welcome. I know myself, and she'll look at Wozy and as well as El Toro and them. Go. She has a good sight for those who I believe would be have good heart and work hard. Just want to live. Yeah.
I think you're right. What's your name?
Oh. Folks around here just call me Mr. Tips.
Mr. Tips. I love that.
Absolutely. And it works out well because they share their custom in kind when I push enough. Like, you don't want to shortchange Mr. Tips now as you get your drink. Works out quite nice for me, I must say. But you'll soon learn that everything besides the Mrs. Cut does get shared among us, those who work here at the house. So what is the tip for me is a tip for all. That being said, if it is drinks you want, Miss is very stringent that is on your dime. So if you do have any type of currency, that would be the way to go if you were able to bring some with you from wherever it is that you came from.
I got a little bit of gold. How much for a round?
For all of you, I do 1 gold.
Sounds like a deal. I'll actually hand him 2.
Is there a possibility that I have only 1 gold? Did something mess up?
You should have as much gold. If you're from Traveler's Breach, you should have 15.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And no, I haven't spent any. So.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, and he will take it. It goes, well, thank you very much. And keep wise to your money around here. Actual currency sometimes is hard to come by.
Gotcha.
People around here, they're trading the credits and also Cenarium crystals themselves. Will often give people are known to have a few on them most times.
Okay. That's good to know. She'll hold out her hand to shake. Arya, by the way.
Good to meet you. I
Good to
should
meet
say, I know Druxers will come, but I will. Why not? And he'll get all your names. And now, I'm sure she'll be by soon enough to let you all know whatever it is that she hired you for.
I'd be fairly certain that I meant to work in the kitchen.
Well, sounds good. Before she comes, however, is there anything I might answer for you? Any questions that you have? Everyone who's worth spending money for the most part's up at the intake show. So,
So we've got pretty much got the place to ourselves right now.
more or less.
Okay, dude. Okay, so all of her little band of misfits, do they all stay here or?
It kind of sort of depends, honestly. I have a place outside of here, as do many. Usually to start, she has something worked out, though something tells me she wasn't quite. Usually she knows someone in her room she says prepared, and I'm not aware of her preparing any, but I'm sure we'll find out. She will take good care of you.
I think we were a bit of a surprise to everybody, especially little Miss Cassia. What do you want to drink, Cassia? Have you?
Hold on. I don't know if you should be offering alcohol to.
I wasn't offering alcohol.
I was going to ask if there was any milk.
She doesn't have. That's why I asked her what she wanted to drink. She probably never had alcohol.
Because you want a little bit, you want milk. That, we happen to have. Usually we use it for more of the cooking, but easy enough to get special requests, especially with the 2 gold you threw in the back. I'm sure I can arrange it with Miss when she gets back. And he'll leave for a moment, go back, and come with a glass of milk.
Oh, thank you very, very much, Mr. Tips.
I'm just gonna give Shiloh a look. Like, what do you take me for? She's 15.
I'm just saying. I mean, you grew up in a different world, obviously, than she had.
I'm just gonna say that, like I feel like my 2 parents are fighting right now. Please stop.
I'm not that old, sweetheart.
And I'm also not that old. I think we just like look at each other.
Did I make another bad? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Nope,
it's cool.
it's fine.
I'm like feeling my face, checking for like wrinkles or anything. Like, do I look that old? Is my hair out of place? Like,
No,
do
I
have
don't.
gray?
I have no idea why this little girl. So what? So, I mean, I think a question that might be a good question to ask maybe Mr. Tips is to see how much are we in for on this? Like, are we now like, is this like a servant sort of situation? Like, do we?
I'll say you think what Mr. Tips can probably offer you anything you want to know generally about the area of your specific like arrangements here. You're probably gonna have to wait.
Cool.
He just won't be privy. You're gonna get a lot of that all depends and what she says. So because he just doesn't. He's not like a people manager or anything like that.
Right. I think in that case, I just mentioned it to the group of like just something like, what do we all think?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we should just hang out for a while. Wait for her to get here, see what happens.
I asked Mr. Tips, Mr. Tips, correct?
Yes, indeed, yes.
My name is Shiloh Milagro. My friends call me Shy.
Sure.
I was wondering if if someone were to venture out into the beyond past this in Intake City.
Yes.
What would be the foreseeable outcome of those?
Depends how they ventured out. I mean, the Weiss are dangerous. That's why a nice, cushy place like this is quite nice to be at. Believe you me, some will get bought to be put out into the mines, and bought's it's not a good word. None of us are slaves or anything. Just the way things work around here is your rights have to do with you having a job. And so, really, you are hired as you don't have any rights as a creature or of sentience. Otherwise, not in Intake City, anyway.
I don't understand. So your thought process of having rights is to give the rights to someone who's giving you a job.
If you are employed, you are considered a citizen of Intake City. If you are not, then you're not.
Oh, I see it. So it's like taxes.
Gotcha.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It's something like that. It's one of those. And no offense, Miss Cassia, you happen to be from the God Nexus, would you?
Yes, I would.
I see. You strike me as quite the rarity indeed. I just have to say, many who came from there, let's just say, weren't big fans of helping out. And their predisposition to not doing their fair share led to a few of the rules I think that all of us must live under today.
Oh, I didn't know folk were like that. You know, I just did all my schooling and all my practicing and cooking, and I like helping people.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that. Obviously, Miss has not had her great eye diminished.
Yeah, I think Arya look at each other at that and just like, I mean, Shiloh rolls his eyes at that for sure. Like, she hasn't worked hard enough or long enough then.
Yeah. Yeah. Her mind will change. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I use the stage?
By all means, it's just sitting there.
Is there anybody else in the bar or anything?
Judging from the way everyone's looking, it seems like this is almost. It feels like there's a bunch of employees on break.
Okay.
And so there are people here, but definitely not like high-paying customers or anything like that.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are probably
fine.
at the intake show.
What she'll do is she'll go up on stage, pull a chair up there, pull out her lute, and just do soothing melody on her lute. Just something just kind of soothe everybody's spirits on their break.
I think Shiloh, like almost instinctually, like does like not even thinking about it, just goes and stands in the like normal sort of corner of where he stands when she's performing, to as the bouncer.
Absolutely. I think you do that, and then you find that it is slightly indented, and it perfectly fit. You're like, well, it's like,
This feels like home in the worst way. Yeah, I said I was a bouncer. I never said I was a good one.
Mr. Tips, if you give me a wet towel, I could go and wipe down all those tables over there.
Actually, Miss Cassia, I do not know what the mistress has for you, nor the salary she provides, and I honestly do not believe people should work for free.
All right.
So why don't you just relax? There'll be a bunch of time for working.
All right. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend no one.
No, ain't no one offended. Just, I think that you are welcome here, and you'll have plenty of time to work and enjoy yourself, but not just enjoy yourself by relaxing a bit.
Oh, all right. I'm going to listen to Miss Aria's pretty music then. And Cassie will just kind of close her eyes and sway back and forth to the beautiful melody that's coming out of Aria's lute.
Yeah. And a few of the workers here kind of hit each other and point to Arya and I would say Cassia, given where you are in the room, you would hear, I never thought that I'd hear Arya sing again. Oh, ain't that the world? Oh. They did a favor when they made sure she got here.
I think Shiloh not hearing the words, just seeing guys knocking and pointing,
Yeah.
makes a note to just pay attention to them.
Yeah. They seem very well behaved. They're just into what's
Cool.
going on.
Cassius is going to kind of file that away.
Yeah. But sometime after, is there anything you wanted to do with your song for Arya, or are you good?
No, she just wanted to. She missed playing. She'd been on that boat for so long. She hadn't been able to play. She just wanted to play a little bit and just kind of. She missed being able to soothe people or bring out strong emotions from people, and she just wanted to strum and just play a little tune.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Courtney, but I feel like Arya and I, for a second, just for a split second, it just feels like we were back where we were before all this happened.
Yeah.
And I think even Shiloh watching what was going on, there's just a small tear that kind of forms in his eye, just kind of wipes it away, of realizing that this will never feel like this again, most likely. And this is maybe the last moment we have in this.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Yeah, Courtney, you confused me because of the conversation we had in chat a while ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Because I think you were talking about all October. And I'm
Yeah.
Oh.
Never mind.
But mine is smack dab in the middle of October.
Sorry about
so
that.
no,
I
you're
thought I was
fine.
being considerate. Turned out I was.
Thank you, though. You're a little early, but thank you, though.
That's a private chat. Anyway, well,
it's just one of those things where you just happen to say that the wrong way right when a waiter walks by and goes, "Oh, okay, I guess
Yeah.
getting free dessert."
yeah. Yeah. And so, as your song ends, there is a little bit of a clapping as the woman enters. She also has with her two other gentlemen, deep burns over their bodies. And Cassia, you didn't get a lot of this, but you do know these seem to be people who would particularly work near the lava pits, gathering energy to heat and fuel the rest of the city.
Do they look like they're her bodyguards, or they're just with her?
Just with her. By their general, they look dirty and stuff. You would assume these might be two other people that she employed.
All right.
She goes, "Oh."
This could be awkward.
Comes in. Mr. That was beautiful. Mr. Tips? Yes. Would you please take these two gentlemen and, if you were to be so kind, help them just get refreshed? I think I will have two separate conversations for today's hirings. And it goes, the rest of you, would you please start to get to your work? I'm sure there will be many a post-drink, a post-intake drink that will be coming our way soon enough. They all nod and they begin getting to work as she sits down makes a little bit of a point to sit down at a table where none of you are at, or really, and then goes, "Well, come and sit down."
Love it. Love it. I think Shiloh dealing with having to fight against the idea of having to be a caged animal, but also knowing this is now your employer is like fighting against the man. I think he even he's like smiling and then wondering why he's smiling, sort of thing. Like I can't help it.
Arya will stand up and softly, gently place her lute on the chair that she was sitting at, and kind of linger for a second, but then walk over and sit down.
Cassie doesn't quite understand the odd interplay of what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll just come over, and she's now marked the lady because of the deference that she's showed by basically everybody as like a capital, very capital important capital person. So she just does another one of her little funny curtsies. You know, she'll pick up like the sides of her pinafore apron and do a little curtsy and then sit down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking that Cassia just looks at Arya so strangely because Arya is like full saloon girl over here and not proper at all in the way she's dressed. It just, in my brain, that's the way it seems. I'm sorry. I just had to put that out there.
Well, I think a little context. She was the daughter of one of the administrators of God
Yeah.
Nexus.
Yeah.
So she's been very sheltered from pretty much everything.
Yeah. So seeing someone so, I don't know, not really scantily clad, but in that time and age, scantily clad as Arya would be a little, oh goodness, to her. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She looks at all of you, and well, I must say I did not expect to get so many hire-ins so quickly. But it was very obvious to me that all of you are quite capable. So we were talking about how that puts us in a somewhat unique position shortly. But I must welcome you to my house. As you may have already been told, I don't know. I know there is a lot of talk that goes around here. You are employees, and it is a willing relationship. In fact, you were simply considered employees for the purpose of you getting down the street without getting thrown back into the intake. So, just know that in order to be considered, you could say, a person here, one must be working. For all the evil that and good that may do a person, is simply the way of intake. So if you find another employer, by all means, you may inform me of such, and that will leave room for me to help another poor soul who has been thrown onto this part of the rock. However, should you like the conditions here, you may stay as long as you provide the value that I believe you are capable of.
I think we're all pretty hard workers, man. And those words just spill out of his mouth without him being able to control it again.
Of course. I don't mean to indicate you're not. It's good to know where we all stand. I run a business, and as my business does good, I can do good and help people. And I expect those I'm helping to do the same. And thus we have a good relationship here. I have already been making it known that you all work for me. I will continue to do so, though it is best that you probably wait till at least tomorrow before making your way on the streets, just so everyone gets the notices, so to speak. You're not accosted in any weird way, I would say, especially, just any of you. It's a good thing to be careful of. Now, a few things here. Given our unique realm, there are people who, if you make enemies of, will do what it is in their power to get you fired from wherever you may choose to work. As doing so would mean, well, they could just about shoot you as look at you and have no punishment by law. So just be aware, here in Intake, connections, relationship will go a long way. Keeping you employed and a citizen. Now, I'm sure some of you may be curious what exactly you are to do here, and the truth is, I don't rightly know. I just heard Miss Arya's amazing voice. Shiloh, I saw you eyeing everybody up and down like you were ready to intercede at a moment's notice, and, well, I've already been witness to your talents, Cassia.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's all of you tell you the truth. We may need to expand a certain leg of my business a bit sooner than I had originally thought. Just talking quietly. And I want to say this as much. Now I expect all of you to find something to do around here. Help in any way you can. But I only really had room for 2. And those 2 and their abilities I've already seen fit to grab. I kind of knew they were coming. One could say, all of you were a surprise. So you will need to earn your keep in some respect. And that may go to, I hope this won't be a problem, but more clandestine operations.
Ma'am, I do have a relatively keen eye, as you so smartly put it. I'm also very good at staying out of the eyes of other people. So if you have a use for that, not to assume that you're in any form of misdeeds or sneakery or anything like that, but just if you need something that's a little bit more under wraps, I think I could be of service.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but clandestines is not a dish I know how to make yet.
Oh, don't you worry, little head on that. You'll get trained up right quick around here.
I think
What I mean to say is that there will be a job, some operation that you may need to carry out, whether in here or outside, and it will have to be done without anyone knowing.
Oh, so,
We gotta be sneaky.
sneaky-like.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm the man for the job, and I think at a certain point I will catch Arya's eye, wondering if I'm like talking too much, if I'm talking too little, like certain things of like I think Arya can tell like I'm like nervous, maybe.
Arya will put her hand on, like, just kind of softly on his arm, just to, you're fine, just calm down, keep cool. Like, you're fine. You're okay. Go. No? Then go the other way. Sorry.
What?
Dog.
You want me?
Dog.
I'm sorry, I have to leave. Apparently,
No, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
I'm sitting.
All right. Stay. Good
I'll sit
boy.
right here. What?
Amazing. So she'll kind of look over to you, Arya. She as well now. You do seem to be quite tell me, have you always been able to do things like you did out with the egg and the omelet?
Arya or Cassia?
Sorry, Cassia.
Well, I'm very well trained in cooking, ma'am. My mama made sure of that. So I'm used to cooking, but I don't I don't rightly know if I did anything else. I mean, I just wanted it to be not nasty. I wanted it to be good for y'all. And I just kind of focused on that. It's kind of like when I wanted Mr. Bull to stand back up.
Well, then I would say I do have something that could definitely equal some things out here, and have you all us be able to support you quite nicely. There is. I'm not the only game in town, you see. There's others around, and they are certainly welcome to be here. However, I think it's also prudent to make sure that everyone's doing right by everyone here in Intake City. And you two, all of you are somewhat unknown. They owners and people of influence will know who you are, but not common folk. At any rate, there's a particular place here by the name of Darkest Attic. They also have similar services as to myself and this place. Most interesting about them is that they actually brew their own alcohol in their basement. By way of a certain underground spring that they had found and built upon. Of course, they're going to keep this quite guarded, and I worry at times just about what type of place they really are and what they might be doing to make some of their things so quickly. So it's really simple. Within the next few days, I'd like all you to arrange to get underground to their spring. And Miss Cassia, if you could in particular find a way to make the water the type that may truly like the best people.
So you want me to purify it? Or am I not listening to that right? Or not understanding it right?
Purify, that I don't know if they're poisoning it, though you could certainly do that as well. I mean more, shall we say, I'll just be real with you. I'm worried that the people who might go to the Darkest Attic might not be the greatest people, and they might not be doing the greatest things.
Oh.
What if you made water that just didn't quite like people like that?
I'd have to see if I can do something like that. And certainly, I don't know how I'd do that, but I can see.
Well, why don't you ponder that? And she goes, you let me know anything you think you might need for that. And we'll see that you have it.
Is there any chance that Shiloh can roll an insight check to see if we're working for the bad guy?
Sure. Yeah. Do insight here.
No thanks. 7. Never mind.
Yeah, it goes. Any questions?
Is there the Darkest Attic is the name of the place, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Is there any known facilitators that have names that we should be on the lookout for? Of the Darkest Attic?
It is owned by Mr. Elias Branch.
Elias Branch?
Yes, and whoever he keeps in his employ or close contacts, I am not aware, as I do not like to be in his vicinity. But he will certainly, he will definitely have at least seen all of you, so I would keep clear of him. And however you wish to make your way, whether breaking in or becoming customers who lose their way, is up to you.
Is Elias Branch already aware of us? Was he present in the?
Elias was there, so you would be recognizable to him, particularly Miss Cassia.
Very well.
Well, I guess we got some planning to do, don't we?
Could you repeat that last part again, please? I'm sorry.
You'd
Come
be more recognizable to Mr. Elias Branch.
And we want her to be or not. I'm having a
We
bad brain moment. I apologize.
So it'd be weird because you would be a sign of this place's involvement. So you'd want to be careful about him seeing you.
Okay. So sneaky.
So he's already aware, even that we're under her employment, correct?
Right, because you would have been there for the whole scene. She's trying to say, like,
Gotcha.
this all went down, and but not a lot of people know just yet, which is why she's like, what I'd suggest then is why you figure out what you may do. Just keep off the streets, and absolutely. If you need any more questions, come to me. And like I said, if you just make yourselves useful, as you may, you're not concerned with anything else.
I might have missed this. I'm not sure. Is there anywhere we can get lodging?
Certainly. That is the case, isn't it? I must confess I don't have rooms for all of you. I was not planning on taking in each one of you. However, you are certainly free if there are empty rooms at nights. Though that is somewhat. There definitely will not be any tonight. I'd say after our regular business hours, if you wish to bunk up on the stage, you'd be certainly welcome to. We could pull the curtains for you. While we look at other arrangements.
Arya is not happy with that, but she's not going to say anything or show it. She's like, okay. All right. Well, thank you.
I mean, Shiloh has no problem sleeping on the stage. Shiloh slept under the stage, so.
All right. That sounds like a plan.
It beats sleeping in that pan.
Yeah, that's for sure. Is there any like normal patrons we should be aware of to at least maybe be particularly cordial with?
Well, as I said before, it would behoove you to be cordial with just about everybody. Anyone here, the influence and power of individuals fluctuates quite quickly. Someone who you don't think is worth being cordial with could likely become big to do. So it's just nice to have pleasantries.
Understood.
Makes sense. So now we got to plan. Is there anybody that could maybe go and get us a few items so we don't, like, maybe blankets, anything like that?
Absolutely. If you do not have anything, I can make sure that is for you. And she will. So things like that, she'll make sure that there is suitable bedding.
Awesome.
On the stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the stage.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we should get started planning. And
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
need us to do anything else?
No, like I said, if just while you are not active, if you could just help out around, it helps everyone to know that you are willing to pull your weight, so to speak.
Gotcha. Do you guys brew here in house?
We do not.
Oh.
We are forced to buy it from others.
Oh, okay. Well, I have experience. If you want to try it out sometime.
Indeed. Well, we'll see where everything goes then.
Okay.
And she goes, now, before, as I leave all of you, Miss Arya, maybe I'll show you to the dressing room areas in case you ever do feel like gracing everyone with a performance of yours.
Oh, I would enjoy that tremendously.
And as you kind of leave the other two, just as you enter the backstage area, she kind of stops and looks. Now, your young friend or acquaintance seems a little, shall we say, wet behind the ears, naive, so to speak. This place, the Darkest Attic, is a place of the most wretched individuals.
Okay.
And I would hope that having their water have a characteristic that is not amicable to those of low moral character
Mm-hmm.
would cause enough of a change to make them not have so easy a home amidst those who just simply wish to do good and do right.
I understand. I will try and guide her.
Yes, you have to understand, I don't mean to deceive her.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how much she's ready to hear.
I understand. Yeah, she was brought up for one thing, and she'll give her kind of a knowing look, like you know what she was brought up for.
Indeed, I'm
So-
from the Nexus myself.
So you understand.
I do, and I also know an administrator's daughter when I see one.
Yeah.
It's why I was so interested in her.
Makes sense.
It's been saying that they have unique abilities that are not found. To be honest, I wasn't as happy that she had displayed them in front of everyone, but I'd at least have one less of you if she hadn't. So,
Yeah, that's true.
just to help her out. Things aren't as... I don't think things are as black and white as she might think they are.
Yeah, I don't think so either. All right, I'll take care of her.
As they're sorry. As they're walking away, I think Shiloh is watching Arya, and I'm sorry, what was her name?
She's not told you her name.
No.
Cool. The assumed master of the house.
Yeah. People
Um,
referred to as the Miss.
the
Or the
miss.
Misses. Yeah.
I'm going to turn to Cassie and go, you are free to do what you like, but I will tell you, if there's ever a point where you feel uncomfortable dealing with a certain situation and I am nearby, it might be best to have some sort of just signal for me if you need it.
All right.
I think the reality is, I think most likely you will. Our survival in this place, if I'm honest, I think might depend on you having to make some difficult decisions for yourself. So that's entirely up to you. But I'm here if you need a darker hand to push things.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shiloh. I do appreciate it. And there's something that I wanted to tell you. Miss Aria, she had some fans in the audience. I heard them talking, and they was happy in a way, sad happy that they get to hear her sing again. But then they said something weird about something about her being brought here.
Yeah. So
It sounded like it was intentional that Miss Aria was brought here for a reason. From what they were saying was the gist I got, but I could be wrong because I'm not that great with people yet.
I think Shiloh's like just pause for a moment, just think about this. You'll find out people that are stuck on worse on work and the sauce together say some mighty interesting things. So thank you for telling me, but I would say pay no mind to it right now.
All right, I wanted you to know in case that was important. So I'm just gonna kind of keep my ears open and my eyes open, and anything I think is a little funny, I'll let you know.
Sure. Yeah, and feel, and don't have any problem. I would suggest keeping your eyes open, but if there's a certain point that forgive me for saying, if there's a certain point where a 15-year-old girl might need to shut her eyes, you let me know, and I'll make sure that you're safe.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shiloh. And also, one thing I've noticed in my life is adult folks sometimes don't think that they have to not say things around a 15-year-old because little girls, they don't matter and they're not going to do nothing and they're no threat. So sometimes older folks are more likely to just be loose with their lips around little ones.
Yeah, I am not of that opinion personally. So I'll always make sure that those of them that seem to not be aware of a younger presence in the room, I will do my best to make sure that they are corrected.
Oh no! What I meant was they's more likely to say things they don't want folk to know around me. So what's the word? Spying.
Sure.
Spying.
Yeah. I hear that. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Whatever you feel comfortable with. To be honest with you, Cassie, I don't know what you think you walked your way into, but I think you're in it, so might as well make the best of it. But yeah, I appreciate that, and I will use it when you feel comfortable.
All right, I'll be fine. I promise. I may be what's the word? Innocent, but that doesn't mean I can't learn.
Sure. Yeah. Also, just call me Shy.
All right, Mr. Shy, or just Shy.
Just Shy.
Just Shy. All right, Shy. Thank you.
All right. And then I think there's a decent place for us to do our break.
Awesome.
So we'll go ahead to our 50 minutes and come on back.
Sounds
Cool,
good.
cool, cool. Bye.
I'm here.
Hey.
I've been fighting a headache all day long.
Oh.
Yeah, I've taken like medicine for it like 3 times today, and it's just not going away.
Sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. It's my daily struggle. My liver hates me for it, though.
Oof. Yeah.
Why can't I open this? It's simple package, just a lifesaver, and I can't open it.
Thank you for reminding me I need to take my daily Tylenol.
There it goes.
My joints thank you immensely.
Mm-hmm. Not a problem.
All right. So, I would say that it is just about before. There's a few like customers that have already come in, but you hear tell that the more rush is going to be happening. Though you still have time for any. You have time for planning and conversations and anything you'd like to have as to what you've been asked to do processing this. You just kind of decide what you want.
I would like to spend most of my time, even as we're talking, really paying very close attention to what the folks that are coming in and out are wearing, how they look, like how dirty they look, things like that. But anything on the physical appearance of how they look.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're definitely going to get just some basic things, but give a perception check to see how much detail that you can have.
By the way, DM, did you see the question I asked in the private chat?
Is that about the water?
Yes.
Okay. Clean water.
I don't think it says.
Yeah, or it says clean water.
Oh, does it say clean water? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer. Have a different tack then.
All right.
That's the create foul water spell you need.
I mean, I would say though, practically, if you wanted to come up with like some stuff to particularly create it differently, you probably could, but we'd figure out like something to do to make it that way.
What if she held on to one of those purple crystals?
Could try it. All depends.
16 on the perception check, and I will point out, just because I did talk about like having a keen eye on this. In character, I actually forgot that my perception is +0 as a rogue. But I don't think Shiloh knows that he has a +0 in perception.
That's terrible.
That being said, 16.
Yeah. As you look at everyone coming in, the first wave of people tend to be on the dirtier end, but you do notice that they seem to be shown to some areas in the back that, without too much investigation, you can tell there are baths that are here that they bring in water, and so some are coming out much cleaner. And so this is kind of the first wave of people who are coming in. You also notice they come in with their own like rucksacks, and will seem to come out with their kind of work or dirty clothes in the sack after they clean and are in better attire, that they begin taking their seats and such. And about 2 hours after them, you get people in very fine clothing the ones who came in first more are in probably work clothes that have never been worked in. Is their view of their nice clothes.
Mm.
And these ones are coming in with things that were obviously meant to be leisurely, to not take a beating. They come in about 2 hours after the other crowd.
I would like to, with the people that come in that are dirtier. Oh, man, I gotta think about how I want to do this. Do the people that come in that are dirtier, do they seem to be a little bit more like miscreant? Like, would there be a possibility that someone accidentally took their coat or something?
Like that they're aware of their belongings.
Yeah, like is there a possibility that like one of them that like when they enter the bathhouse or the bath on their do they seem like the type of people that could possibly take someone else's belongings if it was better, if it was nicer?
Oh, those. I see what you're trying to say. Good. Give me an insight check.
Cool. That is also a 16.
Yeah. I would say you look in. These are the type of people who, if things are kept in ways that they feel like someone is keeping their stuff safe, but if they feel like someone's being foolish, then they would probably go ahead and take something. Type of person who, if you left a wallet behind, they might take it, but they wouldn't pickpocket you.
Right.
I guess is the best way to describe it.
When they go for their baths, is it separate stalls?
It's more communal.
Cool.
And well, yeah, it's separate baths. Like there's tubs, but there's no walls or anything in between.
Right. Okay. Got it. So that's not going to work. I'd like to strike up a card game, if that's possible.
Yeah, you can certainly go ahead and do that.
Arya is going to, I guess, start helping out with like waiting tables, like getting drink orders and stuff like that.
It's what I was going to say Cassie was going to do as well. We got two of us.
But whenever the nicer crowd comes in, she's going to be a little bit more flirty, try and keep ears open for any juicy details or anything like that she may need with what's going on.
And likewise with Cassie.
Excellent.
Great
DM,
minds think alike.
DM, I'm just going to tell you my intention. My intention is to get some sort of uniform of the city. Basically,
Okay.
I'm trying to get something that could possibly have me blend in.
Gotcha.
So, card game. If someone is getting really bad, I might suggest, I'll take a coat.
Oh, I see. During your card games, yeah. Sure. So, are you proficient with cards
I'm most definitely not.
or any gaming set?
I would gladly trade in my loot for one, but
From Child's Reach, you play a lute, man.
You always play a
It-
lute. You're from
it- as-
Traveler's Bridge.
You must be ready to back up someone at a moment's notice.
Yes.
as a music teacher, I try to be as far away from playing
Yeah,
in my games as possible.
I understand. Do it.
But no, I'm not proficient.
Yeah, sure. In that case, I also make a deception check as you're trying to win at cards.
Okay, cool. That I actually do have a pretty high. Oh, +3. That's a 22.
Nice.
That's a 19 plus 3.
Then I would say you're able to get as for when you look for this uniform of the city. Are you looking for nicer or more like the workman?
No, I'm not going to be. I would honestly rather have the worker sort of stuff.
Okay. I'd say if you're looking for like, what's up to you? If you want to get the kind of more ratty stuff, it would be a hat and a coat. But if you want the work clothes that haven't been worked in, then that would be you'd get a coat out of this.
I mean, we walked in the street a little bit. I mean, wouldn't it seem like more of a blend in to be more of a hat and coat sort of person? Assuming, well, yeah, in the general sort of area, especially with what we've been told about the attic, where it's like miscreants and like.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's up to you what you feel like that would be.
Cool. Yeah, I think I would have. I'd do the worker bud.
Okay.
I don't want people to want to talk to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then for my little gossipers, you could both go ahead and make an investigation. Or actually, up to you. You could do persuasion or investigation.
Well, let me think. Hold on. Yeah, I'll do persuasion. Let's see how my new dice roll. Ooh, that's not good. I mean, it's not bad either. I forgot. Yeah, that's a 15.
There you go.
And 17.
17.
Got
Perfect.
a run of the mill 10.
I do want to say that I will as a character point, Shiloh will trade coats with the person. I
Okay.
wouldn't just have them walk out without a coat.
Yeah. Sounds good. So, yeah, you're able, your coats and some of the information that you're able to glean so far is one that there's a lot of talk about an expedition that people are preparing to go on sometime soon to sort of the middle of the rock. And a lot of people are interested in what that looks like. There's talk about it being a failure the first time, and this is the second round, something like that. In addition, there's a lot of talk, and especially as people look at Cassia, about let's talk about another woman who has been able to do that with Cenarium.
Oh, interesting. So there's somebody else that has talent similar to Cassie.
Yeah,
What I infer from that.
yeah, because they're talking about wow, like another one. I thought we'd seen our last.
Interesting. Is there anything else I can glean about this expedition? Is this like people going out to homestead or just people exploring?
It seems to be like a building a trade town in the midst of the rock, more like one that's going to be for people who have to go from one side to the other, so that there is some type of rest in between. And I would say with some of your rolls, you're able to glean even that a lot more. There's a lot more were purchased, or not purchased. Sorry, employed by this by the intake event than most thought. And they said something about this. It may be a dissatisfying run tomorrow. Something that they keep referring to.
The
And
run being the expedition?
you don't think it's expedition? You'd have to kind of. People aren't talking about what the run necessarily is. They just mention it as the run.
Okay, so that's a terminology that we're going to need to figure out what that means.
Yeah, and a few conversations about how potentially the darkest attic might be empty tonight because so many are going to want to be and see the Cenarium woman. Kind of referring to just what they're sort of calling Cassia lately, the Cenarium woman. But yeah, that's the major things you're able to get of what's going on.
All right. Well,
So
after
Cassie could be a diversion while they went and checked the place out, basically.
Whatever you want to do.
well, after getting a little bit of information, what Arya would just go ahead and take up the stage again, play a little bit more, I guess, jaunty, get a little bit more, like, play a few songs, some that are a little bit more upbeat, and like one or two that are just more like calm and more, I don't know, soothing, to help people relax after a long day at work.
Yeah. Make a performance check.
You know what? I'm gonna use my inspo. Because I don't trust myself. Oh, that's caught. 16.
16. It's pretty decent. There's not like don't know if people are like, ooh, the Arya's just like, she can sing too.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, people are appreciative of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Shiloh still playing cards?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I'm also probably listening in if there's like. I think now that I have the coat, I'm trying to play like more designated dealer and just like trying to kind of stay laid back and just listening in on any conversations.
Cassia is going to, as she's waiting tables, she's going to just accidentally brush up against Shy.
Cool.
And he's going to feel very calm and focused. And she will continue concentrating on the guidance spell for Shiloh.
Awesome.
Okay.
I think with that, I get like a, as I'm like kind of trying to like play it cool and trying to kind of stay back with it, I think I get a really good hand, and I think I might be able to get a second coat out of this.
All right, go ahead and make another deception check.
Yeah. With guidance, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. 14. Not as good, but guidance definitely helped.
With 14, you don't really lose any money necessarily, but you just kind of break even.
Cool.
Over the course of some time here. And Tharia singing. And as you look, like no one seems to be too into making trouble, though towards the end of the evening, or I'd say just when it really gets moving, a little like into maybe Arya's third song that she might perform, there are several gentlemen and ladies who come in kind of nearly just almost busting in, and they each have what is obvious some type of Cenarium weapon like holstered on their chest for a very quick draw. And one has what appears to be like a almost like a scythe. One's weapon is almost like a scythe that you would use for herbalism. Another has theirs as basically just a dagger. and another has a long sword. So theirs is more like across their back on their strap as they just come in. And they go, huh. Is that what all the people here come who won't come to the attic? Interesting. They kind of aren't really, they're kind of talking loud enough to each other so that it's the crowd, but they don't really address the crowd. And they all three sit down at the bar and order.
I'm going to look at Mr. Tips and see his reaction to this.
Arya's on high alert as well, even though she's still singing.
Yeah, even Cassie is a little careful about this lot.
Yeah. As they come in, Mr. Tips kind of looks in. You see, as he begins bartending them, he has a coin that he lets slide in and out of his fingers. I'd say, Shiloh, as you notice it, you see that there's a bit of white crystal and several mechanical strikers, leading to believe this could be Tips' Cenarium weapon that he's just letting, kind of keeping at the ready, but very like on the down low.
Got it. I throw my cards. All right, well, I think that's it for me, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you very much. Pick up my coat and my hat, and I will come up to the stage, and I'm going to try and cue Arya to wrap up the song.
Okay.
She'll give just the slightest hint of a nod,
Cool.
and she'll finish within a minute. She'll finish the song
Cool.
within a minute.
Yeah. During this minute, to get sight of... Actually, the two of them look directly at you, Cassia. And, we'll just go, oh! I seem to have spilled something. Can you come help me?
Cassie is very skeptical about going over there. She's going to actually, well, she doesn't want to be obvious shooting a glance at Shiloh and Arya.
Sure.
She
Yeah.
is going to shoot a glance at Mr. Tips, though, and see what his reaction to that is.
See, you look at Tips, he breathes for a moment, bites his lip, just goes, yes, I could use a little bit of help here. Making things are clean. So coming over.
So, yeah, she'll go over and she'll go back behind the bar and be like, how can I help you, ma'am?
As you kind of start to go behind the bar, the woman who called you over kind of starts to go to the edge, and you do see that Tips throws like a glass in front of her that she knocks down and spills on herself, and starts to go, oh my goodness, so sorry, as it gives you the time to get behind the bar.
Cool. I hear the glass break. I try to get closer. I'm just gonna sit at the bar as if I'm a patron, because I don't think I look like I work there.
Arya will stop her song, like end it. End it prematurely, but make it sound like it was just the end of the song.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and
With the big high note elongated. Ah!
yeah, Ah! Yeah, and she'll get up. Oh, thank you, and walk off the stage and be like, and go up to the other side of the bar and wait for her drink, but keep an eye, like pretend like she's waiting on a drink or waiting to get Mr. Tip's attention.
Mm.
I think Shiloh, obviously, these people want to have a conversation with someone. So Shiloh, because they're talking so loud, I think Shiloh just kind of pulls them and goes, "Hi, I wanted to introduce myself to everybody who's coming in. My name's Shiloh. My friends call me Shy. I was just interested in what you folks are doing with all this heavy weaponry.
Just keeping ourselves safe in a town like Intake.
Yeah, that makes sense. It seems like some of these weapons might be not as defensive as I'm used to back home.
See, and where is home for you there, Shy? And two of them are talking to you, while the other one is attempting to talk to Cassia. But
I'm from Travelers Breach. Just got into town not too long ago. Just here to make friends and find work.
absolutely. You may found that those around here, maybe we aren't quite of the same stock as those who love sipping on that dragon milk, huh?
I refuse to believe that until I've come to see that for myself. I believe everybody deserves a chance.
Chances are good. Just saying, way things are done here might be a bit more, so I would say, exciting, violent. You were used to the good life, calm and peaceful, never worrying the world back there. But you're here now. Things are different.
Still full smile. I don't know about calm and peaceful because I certainly wasn't a musician around there. So I was wanting to just make sure that everybody felt safe and comfortable.
Yeah. And he goes, we're just fine. Why don't you go out and keep looking at people? It's probably what you're good at, right?
Oh, right now I'm actually just kind of waiting on work. So I'm actually kind of like off duty right now.
Well then, imagine that. A breacher not working. And see Mr. Tips. He is an employee here. Like, yes, we understand, Tips. It's kind of without. While this is happening, the woman talking to you, Cassia, goes, "Well, it is mighty interesting. Your particular abilities. Can you tell me how you learned to do that? What you did today at the intake show?"
I suppose it's just a gift, ma'am.
Indeed. All types of gifts. What else do you think you could do?
I think that's between me and my employer, ma'am.
Well. And she'll like put her hand down and kind of grasp your wrist a little bit. Wonder how good your employer may be at getting you out of something. And Mr. Tips will suddenly stop twirling his coin and hold it. And it vibrates and has this very slight white glow, and the light fragmentation actually seems like to be vibrating in of itself. And she looks down, and Tips says, "Now, I know you were just trying to scare the child. It's fun scaring intakes, but I do take offense at anyone who would even joke about stealing from our mistress." And the woman releases her grip on your wrist. You see it just begins to float over the weapon on her front. And as this goes down, it's beginning to quiet, like this moment of showdown's happening. But go ahead. Absolutely, go ahead, Courtney.
I think Arya would try and intervene a little bit and be like, "Oh, hey, we don't need to get violent, do we? You
Yeah,
want to have some fun? Why don't you dance with me? Talking to the lady.
Cool.
She hands over. Even Tips kind of says, maybe you should go dance. That could be the best thing you could do. Right
Oh,
now.
you don't dance?
Well, the woman answers, looks, and looks back at Shiloh, who's right there.
Mhm.
And RSA think at this, even how Toro kind of is just sort of like tapping their fingers tapping one after the other on their large horns, and as they do, just little bits of sparks of white come off their tips, and the silence has fallen over the bar, the room. Why not? A dance. And releases. And the two gentlemen get up from the bar, kind of move to the back, just kind of waiting for this woman to be done. And whatever it is, it seemed like they were trying to push seems to have been slightly abandoned, at least for now.
Naria will take her and just, I don't know, she'll look at Shiloh, who has a lute, and be like, start something.
Oh man.
I don't care what, just start something.
Oh boy. Okay. So this is a little tune that I wrote when I was 4 years old, and I haven't practiced it since that time. It starts playing this very rudimentary, like it's like someone was learning how to play the banjo and just learned like the dueling banjos riff, and it's only one part of it. Like, it's only one half of it.
Yeah, it's fine. She'll keep going. She'll probably start singing something like kind of jaunty or something like that, so that you can dance together, and she can. She's just
you're really accentuating the like the 1 and the 3 beat as like Shiloh's trying to like
yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's make a performance check there, Shiloh.
Oh god.
Does he get
Still has guidance.
advantage because
still
I'm
has
kind of
guidance.
helping?
No.
No. I'm helping by kind of singing.
Oh, it's bad. I have guidance, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Oh, that makes it 14.
There we go. Not bad, but not great.
Not great. Not great. A nice healthy 14.
Enough that you can keep a beat.
Barely.
Yeah, so people are dealing with it and they're dancing. And you see the woman who has been employing you all kind of come out during this, looking at kind of the weird music that's being played. And
It's rough at this point.
yeah, and the tension. Even Tipstoe has gone back to twirling. And she looks, all the customer base are frightened looking at her, and she kind of waits for the dance to end. She goes up to 3 of them, rounds them up. Goes, well, if it isn't some of the darkest employees of Intake. Go. Well, Miss Woman, we were just curious if you would explain to Miss Cassia here that she can work wherever she wants. There might even be a better place for her up in certain attics. I assure you, Cassia knows quite well. Isn't that right, Cassie?
Actually, I do, and I'm not going to work with people who just grab me without asking if they can grab me first. So I'm sorry if you wanted me to work there. That was not the way to go about it, ma'am.
Huh. She rests her hand. Well, She lets her hand rest on her weapon, and everything gets very tense. And she says, "Now, the big question here is: you want to keep here, or do you want to watch me gun down some of your friends and all these mighty fine people?" And again, Mr. Tibbs sort of stops with his coin.
Arya gets her parasol.
So the proposition is to bring Cassia to Darkest Attic.
Yeah, basically to
Or
let
fight.
to let this pass right here. And for what they can, Mistress here just takes a breath. You don't want to do this here. You don't quite understand, I think. So, why don't you back off and sleep it back in that attic? Huh? And all right, so this is a potential altercation challenge. So to get this to end directly, each of you can choose one thing you're going to do to just help it. Essentially, this is a de-escalation.
Cool.
Everything I'm thinking of might escalate the situation. Okay, let me think about this.
Easy choice for me. I think for Shiloh, he just goes, why don't we just kind of try to relax on the idea of having a child. This is late at night now at this point, right? Are we in the evening?
Yeah.
Having a child, having to move about in these very seemingly dangerous streets late at night. Maybe we just we save this conversation in the morning. Trying to use persuasion.
Yeah, make a persuasion check.
That's a dirty 20. Excuse me, 21.
Nice. 21, very good. What is Cassio doing?
I'm really sorry. My cousin had texted. My aunt just had stents put in yesterday.
Oh, fine.
So she was giving me an update, and I kind of got unfocused, and I apologize, and it won't happen again. If you could just let me know where I'm at.
Sure. So things are tense right now, and everyone's saying like what they're doing to try to calm the situation. And Shiloh is basically kind of giving a speech of, "Why don't y'all just go on back and we can talk in the morning."
I think Cassie is concerned that anything she says is just going to make things worse. So she's just going to stay mum at the moment, which is probably the smartest thing she can do.
Okay. Then I'm going to say that's a stealth check to try to just be not there. But I'll let you make it with either that dex or a wisdom as your base. Does that make sense? You're muted.
Yeah.
She might have tuned out again.
Yeah, maybe she did. Okay. Let's just let that stand then.
No, I'm sorry. I was having a problem getting to the screen because I can't
Oh, okay.
when I'm looking at my character sheet.
No worries. I just didn't know if there was something you had to deal with. I didn't want to be like,
Right.
"Well, yeah."
Oh no. I just wanted to ask. Now, would that would be an unmodified roll? So like not medicine where I have extra pluses to it. So just
All
an
right.
unmodified wisdom skill, correct?
Are you proficient in stealth at all?
Let me look. I do not believe so. Probably not.
I was
No.
about to say most clerics
Actually,
aren't.
she has disadvantage at stealth. Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most
so-
clerics aren't, but then I was like, no, because Blanche was proficient in stealth, even though she has disadvantage. Yeah, so okay.
Yeah.
good
So for
to
this
know.
actually, yeah, just make a straight wisdom check.
Okay. Straight wisdom. That would be a dirty 20. That would be a dirty 20.
Nice. Very good. And then I think just Arya, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
She would. Oh God, I'm so not good at these persuasion things. Even though I'm like, yeah, I'm a bard. Persuasion? No, I am not charismatic at all. She would be like, it is getting late. We've been working all day. Why don't we just relax, have a sleep, and come back at it at another time when we're not as wound up?
Yeah, so I think you can go ahead. I would say this can be intimidation or persuasion. It's up to you.
Definitely not intimidation.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's not a huge difference between the two, but oh, that's terrible. That's an 11.
Okay. So there's those tense moment, and the woman looks. Huh. Well, maybe different people can learn to see a reason. But I don't know. I still think we can stay here. You don't think we're just going to up and take something, do you? And they will, the woman of the mistress says, well, then maybe I can buy the three of you fine people a drink. They kind of nod. And as they sit there, you see Mr. Tips flick his coin up in the air and catch it as he asks, what will it be? And all of them look at each other, and the woman brings up, well, what do you mean what it'll be? We cannot stay here for so long. We really need to get back. Well, I mean, thank you for being so generous to us. And they leave.
Do I get the feeling that a spell was cast there to convince them to leave?
Something happens, and I would say, because you were looking at the coin before, Shiloh, as it went up, there definitely was this it seemed like everything was vibrating, and it actually looked like they themselves like vibrated slightly along with the coin before it was caught.
Doesn't Cassia have some sort of ability to know what kind of spells were cast? Or am I
Oh, yeah, from your
My
background, right? You're
crazy about that? Am I remembering?
no, your Nexus thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So for Cassia, as that goes up, there is like this song, and where everyone else just saw the coin go up, you hear Mr. Tips like whispering, now, you're gun jammed, and everybody here was nice enough not to absolutely cut you up. And you should accept the hospitality, even though you had a very ill-fated attempt at robbing my employer. You feel like it's a good idea just to go home before they catch it, and something has gone over in their minds from Mr. Tips. And it was as if the second extended and expanded to fill up that area, and the coin moved very slowly as he seemed to say these things. And after this, all of you are ushered to different jobs, and as the night comes to a close, the mistress kind of looks at Mr. Tibbs in front of all of you. Mr. Tibbs, she says, Mr. Tibbs, no worries, mistress. No worries, mistress. I made sure I don't think they'll recognize them again. Save for Miss Cassie, of course. Well, that is something anyway.
Well, I hope they're not gonna try and come here and steal me again, cause I don't cotton with that.
I think Shiloh just answers to that, maybe even mutters under his breath. So let them try as I take my hand finally off the gun that was being held.
I was
Yeah.
about to have to make their ears bleed.
Arya's just sitting at the bar with her head in her hands, rubbing her temples.
Shiloh goes up to her. Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just.
I mean, hey,
I
listen.
feel like I failed in a way, and I'm tired. I'm a little drained right now.
What makes you think that you failed at anything?
You didn't fail at nothing, Miss Arya.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just drained. I need to get some sleep. Probably a bath too. I've got that salt in my skin. It's gross.
I mean, did I say something wrong to them again?
No. They're
No.
fine. They're just assholes.
Cassie, we've had situations somewhat like this before in Traveler's Breach, but just not as high stakes and not something that was clearly not under our control.
Yeah.
But Arya, we'll learn just like we learned there.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just like all this trouble to everybody, and I don't mean to be.
Mistress kind of gets up in here. She goes, "You are no trouble, Miss Cassia. This place is for everyone to have a good chance here. And, you are popular. But it's okay. I will say, luckily, it was those. They've come here before. They're a little more susceptible to Mr. Tips than others. Mr. Tips, I was able to make it so that they're not so aware of the other two. Good. Then our plans will move forward. I would suggest you all think about what you're going to do in the attic.
Well, I'm frankly quite worried about going up in there because they clearly want to keep me there,
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll take
and they're
care of it.
gonna. I don't know how you're gonna hide me at this point.
I think at that, how short is Cassia?
She's probably maybe 5'1", 5'2".
Okay. Does the coat and hat look silly on her?
Probably.
I gave it to her.
Look like two gnomes. in a coat.
You said 5 foot. It would fit on her. You might just have to tie it up different places.
Well, also there's the question of how well fitting are half of these poorer folks' clothes.
Absolutely.
anyway.
Yeah. Generally, it's not
Yeah.
like a tight fit.
I think I put the hat. I just imagine it being like a newsy cap or something. I put the hat over on your head and it just falls below your eyes. Perfect.
And she can tuck her hair up inside of it.
Arya spins around real quick and she looks at Cassia.
I've got an idea. We need them to not recognize you, right?
Yes, ma'am, that sounds like the case.
You might not like this, but you're going to have to lose that dress.
Well, I can just put it up with my things and wear what I need
And
to.
you're going to have to wear trousers.
Oh dear. That's like
Guess what? Guess
but
what?
I gotta do.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
Well, it's the only way they're not gonna know who I am. I mean, my little dresses are kind of obvious,
Yeah, just a little bit.
and
So?
we could put dirt on my face, like smudge it up, like I've been working in a mine or something.
Mm-hmm.
So coat and trousers. I mean, I
We
think
need to
that
get some trousers for her.
I think that'll hide her well enough for anybody. And remember, I mean, that the hat is a little big on you. I mean, it's perfect. At any point you don't want to see something, just
We
Possi-
you know what else we
possibly.
could do? If we get me a shirt, well, I'm gonna have to have a shirt anyway to cover my bosom underneath the jacket. We could take rags and stuff it up and fill out the jacket and make me look bigger and fatter.
Possibly. And I would probably think of a more masculine name than Cassia for when we're in public.
I'm gonna have to think about that because it's something I'm gonna have to answer to like naturally.
Mm-hmm. Just,
But we don't want Cass in it because that's obvious.
yep. We'll come up with something.
This is not for all time, right? I mean, I could
No.
be myself working in the establishment.
Oh, yes. But when we're out and about, there you go.
Nice. All right. So this type of stuff, it's not too hard to get, especially for who you want. And I think looking at what we can do here, yeah, I think. Yeah, you get your disguise going, and as this comes to, as we're coming to a little bit closer, you can go ahead and get level 2.
all right.
Awesome.
Should I do that?
You probably want to wait till next.
Okay.
Then you could do it after.
Okay.
Because ours is the 2 campaigns.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm confused.
sorry, isn't two of the same setting?
Courtney plays the same character in 2 campaigns, and so she's been working on those 2 things.
Yeah.
So she ups one.
Whoops.
It's just. Well,
Yeah.
well, I'm trying to think. Do you have her listed twice or just once?
I do have her listed twice.
So you should be able to up her here, and it
Okay.
won't up her there.
Okay. All right. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. Hold on.
Does this
There it
count
is.
as any kind of rest that we've had?
You're going to get a rest now.
Okay.
Like, this is a good time to take that long rest. And,
Shit.
so, yeah.
Cassie is going to ask their employer, the nice lady, if she could have a couple of the purple crystals.
All right.
Because that's her other idea of how to spoil that water is to grind them up like into a dust and pour that in the water.
Mhm.
I rolled a 6.
It's interesting. And those crystals from... Oh, you mean from the egg things that you were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
spice crystals.
So it's not quite what I had in mind.
Oh, well, I don't know how else I'm gonna follow the water. Do you have any suggestions, ma'am?
She'll take you, and she's okay if anyone comes with her and Cassia.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's taking Cassia in the back, there's this look of just recognizing she's got a young girl here and is open to anyone coming back or not.
I'll go with.
And let's do this here. She'll bring you back to, it's almost like a little office area. She goes, Cassia, I try to speak in metaphor a bit just to protect you, but you are growing to be a young woman, and it's fine. So I'll just tell you the truth. You're not the only person I have known who've had these abilities.
I kind of gleaned that because I heard mention that there was somebody else that had my abilities, that I was another one.
Yes. As far as I know, as of this moment, you are the only one, as that one's no longer with us. But what they could do is, give enough time, they'd be able to make an area better for those whose hearts are for the community, you could say. Especially something like water. I saw him do it once. It was quite the sight to behold. And I was hoping you'd be able to figure out how to do something similar.
So you want me to make the water better?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you wanted me to make the water bad. So I'm
No.
glad I'm asking all these questions. If you want me to make the water better, I think I know how to do that.
Yes, better for us.
All right, because that's what I did with the eggs. I'll just
Hmm,
think about the same things.
maybe. There. I don't know how much you know about Cenarium in these parts, but there is such a thing called a bonded Cenarium. These are crystals that, at first, grow into individuals or creatures, and those creatures begin growing into them. Now, if you're able to harvest this, it doesn't work like other Cenarium, but it works differently. It can warp a person, make them monstrous, give them unnatural power. And in my travels with this individual, we had come across some people who had taken the wildlife here as bonded Cenarium and made themselves quite powerful. And she was able to ward them off by some water that she had changed with her connection.
Now I know what you're talking about.
It took her quite a while. And I am wondering if you would be able to do such a thing. And I'll say above board, what she's, I don't know where Cassie is, but what she's essentially asking for is ceremony.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you can bless water in ceremony.
Okay. Thank you, because that, as me as a player who's not
Yeah.
picking up exactly what's
No
about-
worries. Like as I pick that up, I'm like, oh, I could just tell you, and then
Yeah.
you could work that into your character as
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, I was looking during break. I was looking through cleric spells, going, God, what would help with that? And then I would like, maybe ceremony has something. And I looked and I'm like, it's one vial, but maybe that would work. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And for this, we would let it apply if you did it to a source,
Okay.
which is what this is. But what will be needed, like as you start to think about this, is you will need the hour and 10 minutes of access,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. That's
which would be the
The the hard
yeah.
part. Yeah.
what you'll need to solve.
yeah, because I don't have ritual caster, so
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ceremony. Okay, and we need 25 GP worth of powdered silver as well.
Yeah. So go, but she'll continue in context. Go. That's now. And of course, what I'm trying to tell you is, those who come from the darkest attic, let's just say they've left some of what makes us truly people behind.
Like them ladies.
Yes. It's you can get a lot of power, but you pay a price
Yeah,
for
I'm not
using
sure
that
that
type of
price is
scenario.
worth it.
Well, maybe we can make it not worth it in this particular case. So, anyway,
Well, I will try to do what I can.
yes, and tomorrow, Mr. Tips can either go or see you to any type of the commissaries to, if you need to find anything, especially with the credits that you have. That type of cash I can't help with, but we'll do what we can. So, be safe out there. And actually, here's where she also goes, what I do have, now that I see that this might be more dangerous than I even thought, she takes out a tray of small cenarium crystals. Goes, these are purified and cut just right. And if you go ahead and replace the ones on your current weapons, you'll find yourselves a bit stronger in time. And it's this interaction where you actually kind of fall into level 2
Okay.
as this more purified cenarium is given to you.
Oh, thank you very much, ma'am.
And,
You really are
Cass-
too kind.
and Cassia,
Yes, Miss
Everybody-
Aria.
everybody has your back. You know that, right?
I absolutely know that. I trust you and Shy and Miss very much, and Mr. Tips. Mr. Tips is good people. She's saying that based on what she heard him do, because she's far more aware of what
Mhm.
just happened out there than either Arya and Shiloh. She doesn't want to let her employer know she knows that, so she'll have to tell them about that later.
Gotcha.
Very good. Then I think right there we're going to go ahead and in our broadcast, and we're going to see everyone back here around 8 o'clock. Thanks for watching, and we will see y'all back here soon.
Bye.
Bye.